younger than your age. I know you get that all the time.
Yeah, I do.
And so I want to assume that a lot of younger men approach you a lot of times thinking you're younger.
Of course. They do, yeah.
And
I follow up.
So, have you ever dated a younger guy before?
I've dated lots of younger men. It's kind of weird. You know, when I was younger, I dated a lot older guys. And then I think after I got across like 40, I noticed that all the guys were younger that were talking to me, and men my age didn't talk to me anymore.
Why do you think so?
I don't know. I think I'm very young at heart, and I'm very energetic, and I'm all over the place, and I think they just say too much.
The older men.
Yeah. Because it's funny that even my younger boyfriends were more kind of laid back guys. So I'd be the one listening to Nelly in the car, and they'd be listening to the Temptations or something.
The younger one.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That means they're not young enough, maybe.
Maybe, but you know, I can only go so far.
Certain
I
limit,
kind of card everybody. I congratulate myself if they're over 35.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So you've gotten someone as young as 22.
Oh no, I would never go that low. No. But usually, I like most of them average like about 32. I was like, what is it about 32-year-old men and me? I don't know. Yeah.
32-year-old. How was it like dating a 32-year-old?
Well, I wouldn't date him. I didn't. No.
Okay.
But, you know, I'll allow for 35 and over.
Okay.
So at this point in my life, of course, when I was a little younger, then 32 was okay because I was,
right.
You know, the gap wasn't that. So, I mean, the thing is, I find it interesting when people are aghast and agape about age differences because you really have to deal with it individually. Because after that, I did date a guy that was like 8 years older than me, 8 or 10. And I thought that he acted more juvenile than the younger guys I had been dating.
Why do people always say that though? I get that a lot. I think maturity doesn't come with age.
No, maturity does not come with age.
Right.
It's definitely a character issue. Right. And I think that the younger guys that were attracted to me were actually older in spirit and
Hence,
wanted
you listening to Nelly and they're listening to the Temptations.
Yeah.
Ellie Kim,
Yes, ma.
you have dated older women.
Yeah. A few here and there.
Okay. Is it because they approached you or you approached them? What is your preference?
Sometimes it just happens. You know, it's almost as natural all the time. Let's say we're here on set and we meet each other and we're talking and next thing we exchange numbers and we get along and we have a lot in common. Next thing we're having lunch, then one thing after the other. It's almost always been like that. Otherwise, I've also got a certain age limit.
Sure.
That was back in the day though. When I was maybe 19, 20, I was in the university. I dated a girl 5 years older, and that's about almost the highest I've been. Maybe I've done up to 10 years, maybe. Yeah. But I was always that guy who seemed older. I was young, but I was quite tall. Back then I was nice. Now the pimples have spoiled my face, but.
When you say you're always that guy who seemed much older, I mean, I don't know.
So what happened? What happened was when I was growing up, my brother is a good 9 to 10 years older than I am. So we used to hang out a lot. So we're going to the club together. We're hanging around his friends, and I was quite a tall guy. So they see me and think I'm about that age.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lie about my age because I'm trying to have a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to see a nice girl, and when I was growing up, I used to see older girls as more refined, more sophisticated. You know, the way they dressed, how they carried themselves about, and the younger girls were just, you know,
finding themselves. Sure.
Chalewote, you know. So it wasn't so attractive to me. Young girls weren't so attractive to me. But growing up now, I've almost like sort of settled for my age mates now.
Yeah.
But only when I was younger, I dated older girls or women.
So I mean, when you say that younger girls are still finding them, so there are some matured younger girls, and there are
just
some,
a few. Those ones are probably being taken care of by older men.
Why would you assume that though? That's the thing.
Some of them, the majority, because the only reason why they get into the mature space is because they need to act a certain age to be with someone a certain age.
I don't know. I
No.
was old when I was young.
Were you?
I was old when I was young. It's interesting. I had this conversation with one of my ex-boyfriends from college, and it was a very bad breakup. And we spoke before I moved to Ghana, maybe about 8 years ago. And he said, you know, when we were in school, I was still a boy and you were already a woman. You know.
But that thing is true.
Yes.
Women develop faster than men.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why, you know, certain people look at it like, okay, why is this older lady or older woman dating someone younger? Because the man still hasn't found himself. For instance, I dated a guy younger than me. And I remember my cousin telling me that was a no-no, because it didn't work out, obviously. And my cousin said to me, it's because at that age, you know, he's still trying to find himself. He hasn't found himself to understand the kind of woman, to even find you, to even understand and appreciate you. So then that is where the problem is. But when a younger guy is dating an older woman, it's always, he's trying to find his mother. He's, you know, because we're nurturing and
Really?
is
No.
that what it
I
is?
don't think
No.
so. My,
No.
my boyfriends were not into mothers. Trust me. But you know, I think the thing that they would say is, "You're so interesting." You know, I think that they were looking for more than just empty conversation, which they
Right.
felt a lot of younger girls, the girls that were girls, were just not interesting. And here was a woman who had traveled the world and,
Right.
and was just much more interesting. And we could talk about a lot of different things for hours. And that was intriguing to them. And I was also more secure. I wasn't needy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't calling them every 5 minutes. I had a life, and but I appreciated and enjoyed them when I saw them. But
Yeah.
they were not the air that I breathed, and I
Right.
think that was refreshing for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. That's also another thing. Some guys, some young girls are just, you have too much time on your hands sometimes. So there's too much going on with trying to date a young girl, and sometimes some guys like their own space. They like to go and watch a soccer game with their boys and not have their girlfriends in their ears and whatnot. And older women don't do that. It's especially if they're already established. Now you need to be able to strike the balance between a guy who's looking to date an older woman because of maybe companionship or something, as opposed to a guy who is looking for an older woman for some sort of financial benefit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys who spend a lot of time in the gym feel like, you know, it's easy to catch this older woman because I've got a nice
I don't
body.
think it's a lot of guys spending the time in the gym. I think a lot of younger guys generally, you know, would date an older woman just for the mere fact that she has money. And she has
Majority. Some
She's
majority.
The majority? I
Some
think it's really
majority.
flipping. I think it's flipping. I think that guys want more substance these days. If they're really men, and if they're you know, even if
That's
the
why you
numbers-
can't go below a certain age.
Yeah.
Because the lower you go, then you're just looking for guys
Yeah,
who
but
just
Exactly.
Who would
Because
you-
a guy in his 30s is coming into his own. He wants someone who's going to, even if just mentally, push him to another place. You know, he's not looking to fool around, you know.
Now, there's two things also. A guy in his 30s, why is he not married? And if he's not, then it's all right. But if a guy in his 30s is married and is still trying to look for an older woman on the side, what is that then?
Well, that's different. I'm talking about single people. I don't deal with married people.
No, yeah,
At all.
exactly.
So that's when you find a guy who is not looking for anything from the older woman. Most of the time, they're probably either married or they've got their own thing going. Because a guy who's over 30, who's well-to-do, is maybe looking for someone to
Mature
settle down with.
conversation.
Or mature conversations. Let's say if he's talking to an older woman, then he's looking for mature conversation. Because a guy in his 30s who's well-to-do has probably given a gap or distance or space between him and his colleagues. So he's obviously not on the same level. So he can't probably relate to people his age. Now you only meet an older woman of similar standings if you hang in a circle of where the old woman would be, which could be her male friends, which you probably work with.
You know, your work
Yeah,
environment.
your work environment,
Exactly. Because you won't just meet an older woman on the side of the road somewhere and try to talk to her and she'll even give you a face. I mean,
Right.
I don't think you must be, or
Yeah.
could be that pretty to
Yeah.
just have an older woman say, hey, yeah, get my number, take my number, let's talk. No. It's usually you meet her in a setting. Otherwise, if you're both just looking for something, or maybe one party, which in this case could be the guy, just looking for an older woman to, milk, then I can walk up to you directly and, try to start a nice conversation, try to be extra nice, find a way to get your number, be all up in your head every now and then, send you nice messages. Then there's almost always a motive. But a guy over 30 is probably...
yeah, but don't they all say the same? Don't they all... That's the
not
MO
always.
until they show you. I mean, look.
Well, the guys who are there for money, yeah.
Yeah,
They come across us with just,
Yeah, I mean, but they start off asking, so you get rid of those people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do they?
The guys that I have been, yeah, because they're just that bold, and they think that if you're older, that they're doing you a favor by being in your life.
Exactly.
Some people come shadowed though, still. Some
you
people
understand
come
what I'm
shadowed.
saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, I can only voice my own experience that the younger men who have been in my life have been either I met them working or and we started hanging out and talking, and it was very organic that we decided that we liked one another. There was that attraction there and all of that. And in some cases I was oblivious for a long time, and they were like, "Hey, I like you." I'm like, "Oh, really? Do you know how old I am? I don't care. Really? Okay, whatever."
Right.
But because I've lived here and I've also lived in America, it seems that the age gap is much more of a taboo in Africa than in America. I think that in America, younger men like older women because they say that older women are hotter sex-wise.
Right.
They know what they want. They're more confident of their bodies. Their hormones are pitching higher,
Right.
which is some cruel joke that God did, because men go down and women go up, and I don't know how that's supposed to work, But I'm just saying. We're talking about keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Okay.
Say it all.
So in the States, I think you see it a lot more, and it's more normal. I mean, my mom is West Indian, my dad is Ghanaian, but my stepfather is American, and he's 7 years younger than my mom.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't know until they were signing their papers, because he had lied about his age.
Oh dear.
And so when
he's
they were
done.
getting married, that's when she found out that he was 7 years younger.